God has an amazing way of turning things around and using even the most unfortunate circumstances to bring good from them. That's the experience of Nancy Horton, a breast cancer survivor and author. This is the journal of her journey, Hope in the Midst of Darkness. Welcoming Nancy from near Ottawa.
I'm half an hour south of Ottawa in a little town called Winchester, Ontario.
Winchester,
Yes.
indeed. It's wonderful, wonderful to meet you.
Thank you.
Knowing
Thank you for having me
the
this
journey
morning.
that you have had. Not an uncommon one, sadly.
No,
1 in 9
unfortunately.
Canadian women will be diagnosed in their lifetime with breast cancer. How old were you when this came into your life?
I was 35 when I was diagnosed, and there was no family history. My doctor, actually, I had gone to the doctors. I had a very weird, thick orange mustard discharge coming from my breast.
Ooh.
It was achy for about a year and a half, and I was very lumpy. She thought it was just fibroidal tissue, and because there was no history of breast cancer in my family, I didn't drink or smoke, I wasn't overweight. So initially when I first went to the doctor, she didn't think that it was anything. But then when I went a year later, there was then an indentation, and so she decided to run some tests.
Another thing to watch for. So you didn't really have warning in the physical prior to
No.
this, and not in your family history, but God warned you, prepared you in a dream.
He did. I actually had a dream that I had a mastectomy, and then I was restored in the same dream. And when I woke up, a scripture came to me that I didn't know, and it was, "Lord, even though there is trouble all around me, you will keep me alive." So a knot tightened in my stomach, and I asked the Lord if he would give me 2 more scriptures to confirm what I thought he was what he was telling me. So he gave me Isaiah 43, 1-3, and one other one. They were very similar, that says, "Do not fear, for I have saved you, I've redeemed you, I've called you by name. When you go through the water, I will be with you. When you go through the river, they will not sweep over you. When you go through the fire, you will not be burnt." And I knew that it was definitely something that I was going to have to go through.
And you haven't wasted a bit of it. We have a picture of your beautiful family. You have been married to Rob since 1993. You have 3 handsome boys. How did this news resonate with your family?
Unfortunately, my husband's mom had suffered with cancer for about 23 years, so it was really hard on him. And he sort of threw himself in his work at first, but he's amazing now. Whenever I have doctor's appointments, he's always there with me, and I know that it's definitely strengthened our relationship. He truly loves me. I didn't know that before. I guess because I didn't truly love myself, so I couldn't tell that others loved me. Our children, our middle son Carter in particular, went hysterical. He loved my hair, and he would often ask me to put it in pigtails, or he'd braid it, and he'd ask me to play. And so after the 3rd time of him going into hysterics, I'm like, "Lord, what am I going to do?" Because he would follow me around the house like a puppy dog, and he'd ask me over and over again, "Are you sure, Mommy? Are you sure you're going to lose your hair?" And I'm like, "Yes, buddy." So the next time it happened, the words just came right up out of my mouth, and I was like, "You mean to tell me you won't love me with my big fat bald head?" And then he laughed and he was fine.
And look what this has become. Talking about, making lemonade out of lemons. It's a children's book, The Big Fat Bald Head. And I was stunned to see that one of your sons has done all the cartooning here. It's superb.
Thank you. He was 11 when he did the pictures, and he's now 13. And he's been chosen to, so I get choked up about it because it's very special. He got chosen out of 600 students to go to an art school this fall. They only pick they pick 50 out of 600, so he's that's a very big accomplishment.
This book is dedicated to my husband Robert and our 3 sons Ben, Carter, and Spencer, who learned to look past my appearance and into my heart. Beautiful dedication. Now, I had to confirm this with you. Here's, just take a look at this. This is where the story begins. And my mom has beautiful long blonde hair that I like to braid and twirl. Now, this is the son who was so hysterical at the thought that you were going to lose your hair, and it was blonde.
It was. It was very long and blonde, and he loved it, so it was hard for him. But one of the things I wanted to say is that we use this as a tool to teach our children to trust God and to pray. And I love the scripture that talks about God is faithful to his promises and loving towards all he has made.
Here's, now we haven't got to this part in the journey yet, but this is a real truthful story. And you've written the prose.
Yes.
It's actually rhyming. The white porcelain bowl in the bathroom became her new best friend until her tummy settled and she stopped barfing again. Now, this is the same son in the doorway with the tears? Go
Yes.
back, would you, folks? And just, there's a lot of children's tears in these cartoons, in these illustrations. And that's Mom, of course, at the toilet bowl.
Yes, that's Carter.
Real family affair.
It
The
was.
journey.
It was.
We have a photograph of you right after surgery. Double mastectomy, was it?
Initially, I had just the right side removed, and I also had lymph nodes removed from underneath my arm.
You're on the left, looking great.
So that picture was taken about a week or 2 before I was to start chemotherapy. That's my 2 sisters.
In the next picture, we see what was predicted, that you would indeed lose your hair. Which son is this?
This is our youngest son,
The
Spencer.
Spencer.
He's a little sweetheart.
You can tell.
And these 2 girls, one of my best friends, her daughter Megan and Haley, they're with me. That was my birthday celebration.
Wow.
During chemotherapy. It wasn't until I lost my hair that I realized it's who you are on the inside that matters, and that's what God looks at, is our heart. He's more concerned about that.